Let's kick it off. Rick Delove of Delove Group. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're up to?
Well, I'm kind of doing a lot of things. It's all cannabis-based, of course. I've been doing this for about 7 or 8 years, and I've pretty much launched my own company called the Delove Group, which is a cannabis business development firm that connects all the dots. So basically, if you need to know somebody, if you need hardware, if you need glassware, if you need training, if you need a license, I mean, basically, I'm just connecting all the dots and trying to make sure everybody gets paid under the umbrella. But there's a lot of stuff under the umbrella. Like, we're selling hardware for SMT, schools and tools, helping people find licenses. And right now, I'm actually in the middle of doing a whole bunch of water-dissolvable isolate sales for some companies, and we're in talks with Heintzelman, actually. So a lot of things are booming. And they can
get more information at what, abcschoolsandtools.net?
I gotta go to that website, or you could just go to my delovegroup.com and lead you all the information you need, and that's actually the best way to probably contact me.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump right into the weekend weed review. Looks like Utah's hiring a cannabis czar to deal with all things pot. I'm not sure how far Utah's involved, but I think it's kind of interesting that they're at least going after somebody to try and deal with it. What do you think?
That is crazy. But I mean, the bigger it gets, the more corrupt it gets. I hate to say it. It just seems like there's less and less people that we know that are getting in control of this big empire.
Yeah, especially when you put it in one person's hands, and who knows whose lobbyists have gotten a hold of who and how far that can get out of hand.
Josh, you remember about 2 years ago or something, there was a big scandal, and I think Nick Lachey was part of it. And the big scandal was that him and 9 other people were going to pool their money to get the 10 licenses. I think it was in Ohio. Do you remember that?
It was, and it was only 5 people, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ohio had a lockdown, and fortunately the people were aware of it and voted it down.
Yeah, I wonder, I think, did Nick Lachey ever get back into it? Did he get his license?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, she probably went in it in a different way with a different company in another state, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, backdoor. There was a lot of backdoor and stuff. A lot of backdoor in cannabis right now.
Speaking of that, Farm Bill passed, so there's going to be a lot of CBD companies jumping in. Man, what's your opinion about that bill and how it's going to change the game?
Wow, where do I start? CBD is going to be the biggest thing that we've ever seen. When I talk to people, I'm constantly talking to people and trying to get them to understand the scope of how big CBD is. Probably, Josh, as well, you know, CBD is going to be in everything from your toothpaste to your makeup foundation to your beverages to your granola bars. And so it's something that is going to get bigger. I mean, imagine, I compare it to sugar. So, I mean, but sugar doesn't go in your shampoo or your foundations or in your eyeliner. And so I kind of think it's going to be bigger. That being said, right now is the time, I think, to start your own CBD company or get onto some kind of brands that are going to be doing that. So I'm actually starting my own CBD lifestyle brand here very shortly, where I'll be introducing lotions and everything under my own brand. So, but I encourage everybody out there to get... You know, Uber's not going to be there forever, and everybody got to pay their rent. So I would look to the future instead of looking to the past and figure out what's going to be wanted and what's going to be your gig. And there's not going to be any more, when soon as cars start driving themselves and robots start taking away those jobs, it's going to be hard to get that third job to pay for that 2-bedroom apartment. So, I mean, I would try to put something together now for us and our kids. Starting your own CBD company is a solution that I'm actually kind of bringing to the people around me.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to have any of your products at the Emerald Cup that's coming up, or will you be networking at the Dope Industry event party coming up?
I'm not sure if it's going to be launching books and stuff like that. Really, it's a bunch of connecting the dots and getting everything on the same page. So I really want to probably do some more I guess, R&D on it to make sure that it's all working before I super launch it. So I probably got a soft launch to do to see how the logistics of the products work. You know, there's a lot of drop shipping involved and things like that. So it's a little bit away. I'm excited about it, but I don't want to be too premature. I'm always just like, check this out. You know, this one I kind of wanted to be grandma friendly from the get-go.
Are there any other...
No.
Sorry. I was just trying to find out if there were any other events that you might be at where you're going to be networking or hanging out this holiday season.
I'll probably go to the Delove thing. That's my home base for Christina and Trina. They do great networking events, and it's like going home to see everybody. So I'll probably just do that. I got a lot to do on my plate to get this done, so I really want to just hanker down and get the work done. You know, get all the dots together and start making some big things happen while we still have time.
Yeah, and I don't have a lot of time with you, so let me just jump right into industry global news. Looks like there's a severe supply shortage as Ontario starts with only 25 retailers. Licensed producers are barred. So we kind of hear about that every time there's a legal state that goes online, there's a shortage. Seems
every
like
single time.
Deja vu.
Every single time. I mean, it's interesting. And it just kind of shows you, and that's me pretty much. So, I mean, it shows you the demand of these products, and it's really amazing to be alive watching this happen. I mean, it's like prohibition, but better than prohibition, because alcohol kills us. It's not medicine. It's not medicine. And here we got something that is going to change people's lives and empower them. I just wish there was more people that were still in it and that could keep their feet in it and, be able to pass it on to their children and keep. But yeah, shortage is always an issue. I think it's funny in every state that goes legal, there's a big, and then they show you the prices of the eighth. I love seeing that $85 an eighth. And then look what happens years later, like in Washington and Oregon. You can get ounces now for like $25 to $40. It's ludicrous. It's crazy, but
yeah.
Supply and demand.
You're going to see that in New Zealand. They just legalized medical cannabis for domestic and export markets. So, yeah, I think they might find quickly that $300 ounces don't quite work out when places like Oregon are selling them for $40.
Right. Well, I think the big thing is like the U.S. needs to get together and let these states ship to each other like commodities. That's when product from Washington will have then you can get the monies that you want for it, because it's like Jack Daniels.
Right.
Getting Jack Daniels from all the way from Kentucky Bourbon or Bourbon, Kentucky, whatever that is, over here in Washington. I mean, there's some logistics with that, and people pay for that. When that happens to cannabis, there won't be a shortage, and there'll be a lot of good product out there. But I just think that we're kind of limited to, and our state has the best weed in the nation, but I think we're kind of still limited to what we can get because of that factor.
Yeah, the World Health Organization just postponed recommendations for rescheduling, but Trump said that he would approve the states, which is the strengthening the autonomy of states' laws, like you were mentioning. As more and more come online with recreational, medical, and CBD, the feds are going to sign off, the government's going to sign off soon for the states to have their own laws. So it should be interesting.
I mean, it's just, that's why I encourage people to get into it now. I talk to a lot of people, and they're just, they damn near almost roll their eyes because they think they've missed the bus on this, and to tell them the truth, it's actually the beginning of it. Just because a lot of people in Washington have been through the grinder of the process doesn't mean that in other states and other locations they're going to have opportunities.
So let's unpack that for a second, because I want to review what in 2008 what was supposed to be trending. So I'm gonna throw out 5 things that were supposed to be trending in 2018. And then you tell me what's supposed to work, and then we'll dive into what's supposed to trend next year. So last year, cannabis oil was supposed to be trending, along with beauty and skin products, beverages, chocolates, and dog treats.
Yeah. Did you say dog treats?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog treats are huge. So like, they don't even, pets are going to be a huge division. They'll probably get more CBD to pets than their kids in the first couple of years.
Beverages haven't moved so much, though. Coffee especially hasn't moved at all in Washington. Chocolate, I would say, is probably the best edible. Beauty and skin products haven't moved at all, and cannabis oil is hot. Fire!
Yeah, cannabis oil is that precursor. I think what it is because we have an interesting motto up here in Washington and stuff, and when I go to other places and stuff, I kind of see, like in Las Vegas and stuff, it kind of takes a little while to kind of thrive. And I have a friend in Colombia, and we're doing some things down there and stuff. And so to start a business down there, you just start a business. And then if you survive, you make some money, then you get licenses for the business that you started because you survived. That's an interesting way to do business, but we do actually the opposite.
Isn't that called capitalism?
Spend all this money, and then you hope you make $1. We're not seeing a lot of people doing that in the Bible. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm a little disheartened for me because last night I went and had a 2-hour meeting with a 91-year-old woman who has a tier 1, and she's in there, and she's Mexican and Indian descent, and she's she's 91 and they're doing trimming and all that stuff, and she has a tier 1, and so I look at her and I'm like, you've really done everything that you were supposed to do with this. I mean, you're supposed to get into cannabis, and you've done this, and now you have this tier 1 where it's a race to the bottom to sell your grams of weed for $1.05 a gram, $1.75. It's just horrendous. So the hardest part was to kind of convince them that you have a processing license with that tier 1, and you were kind of bamboozled, in my opinion. You could never really compete with that tier 1. So I was trying to get her to understand the concept of having a lab open 24/7, and you were making grandma's garden products. Instead of making the best hops in the world, make Mac and Jacks. And so they're learning how to become branders of their own brand as opposed to people who grow weed in one room.
So that's a great segue into the trends for 2019. It's still beverages, right? So it's going to be less of production, like you were saying, and more of processing and branding. So moving into 2019 trends, it's beverages, chocolate, packaging, especially recycled packaging, health and wellness. I mean, it's the same thing over and over. It's like they almost still wait for it to happen, as if it's going to happen.
Well, I think what it is, the floodgates are almost open, and okay, so this is what's the interesting thing. There's a lot of people who start asking about these unicorn whale deals of isolate, like these 10,000 kilos for $5,000, and they'll pay $50 million. Well, all that stuff, it all kind of goes away because nobody's going to put that money up. It's going to be 6 months to a year until these products get on the shelf. But everybody's gearing up to connect those dots. So, and even like in the production side, the people who are making bottled water with isolate, it's not the most successful field, and they've done everything right except for make the product work, to say the least. So these people are right now switching over to full spectrum because they want to get ahead of their competitors, and so these products aren't even really on the shelf that much, but they're still switching over from isolate to full spectrum in the hopes of consumers being aware what full spectrum is right out the gate.
Better experience. Yeah, there was an $85 million purchase of a Utah company by a CBD beverage maker. Just case in point, people want that experience and they're just gobbling it up at ridiculous valuations.
Right. That's that acquisition period that's starting to happen. I mean, we're starting to see it. I mean, we're from Washington, and seeing Dave Tran get acquired from High Times. That's part of the steps. We're seeing companies that aren't touching cannabis starting to be acquired behind the scenes, there's a lot of different stuff that's going on that maybe I agree with or I don't agree with. But once again, it's the reason why you should start your own brand, start your own products, or get linked into something like that while you can. Because things are getting acquired and it's at a slow right now, but in about a year, everything's going to get taken up. As soon as they start saying, let's do business and commerce with Canada and Mexico. And by the way, Canada is very liquid up there. They're ready to rock and roll. When I talk to them about product developing up there, they're ready to start shipping to the UK and ship to Jamaica products that are made anyway. So we are like behind the times and actually behind the 8 ball of the red tape in America. And I think that it's just so that, to tell you the truth, just so that it gets all gobbled up by the Walmart money. They want that big money coming in instead of letting these little small tier ones make their brand and be successful. But that's why I made the Delove group to kind of help advise people and fill in the dots or fill in the gaps for these people so that they can try to be, relevant and successful as years come. Because there's really no pathway for small business cannabis owners.
Dixie,
you can get caught up on everything.
Yeah, Dixie just utilized a reverse takeover in Canada, only spending $800,000. The average IPO in Canada is over $4 million. Right. So even though they posted a $2.4 million loss, $800,000 of it was going public, and then $200 million was converting debt into equity. So they sort of broke even, but probably spent a lot more on expanding. I know they went into Puerto Rico to take advantage of some amazing tax opportunities and tax credits. So all of that's definitely popping off.
They're also in Colombia right now. Of the 5 major isolate labs in Colombia, they're all Canadian companies. All big linked to Canadian, big with no American companies, all Canada.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely going to change the valuations. I mean, overall, the cannabis stock index is kind of coming down. I think some of the profits are being taken off at the end of the year. Some people are probably reallocating their portfolios.
Somebody's pitching.
Right. Yeah, but
somebody's in their pitching.
Yeah, all in all, though, I mean, the industry as a whole is doing well. It's valued just below Netflix and McDonald's, but above the tattoo industry and organic produce. So we're definitely making a footprint.
It's impressive. I'm glad to be alive and watching it happen.
Yeah, no doubt. So product review, man. I've just been sitting here smoking some homegrown. What do you got going on?
I'm actually smoking some Bubba Kush from one of my health-driven growers that care about their products. And so it's from his backyard, and I still like to test drive what people grow instead of going to the shops on it for every purchase. Bubba Kush, can't go wrong with Bubba Kush.
Yep. Well, any last words or shout outs? Anything you want to say?
Let's see. I want to say congratulations to Christina Heintzelman. You know her from Dope Magazine. Goes by Tina. She actually got promoted to being the publisher of Dope Magazine, and so she's worked very hard for that and busted her ass, and she's done a lot for that brand and that company, and I couldn't be more proud about Christina. So hats off to Christina and David Tran also.
Yeah, congratulations on that whole thing. Dope Magazine just got acquired by High Times, like you mentioned earlier. Before I let you go, I want to know in your crystal ball if you can kind of see into the future of cannabis and see anything new, neat, niche, or exciting. What is it that Rick Delove sees?
Well, I see every product. I mean, switching over to having a CBD version, and then CBD being like an additive to everything. So there's going to be like a little wave where you're going to start just seeing this over the next 2 to 3 years of just CBD creeping its way up on these labels and onto these ingredients. And that's going to be exciting because doing lifestyle choices, and maybe they're thinking about what they put in their body a little bit more, just a little bit more. And I want to be involved with that. I want to help connect those dots. I want to get them products to people and make products for grandma. You know, make some good stuff out there. And also the next thing is there are some amazing CBD products out there. Years and years ago, it wasn't the most fulfilling, search for these CBD products. Now, I find great lotions and tinctures every time I turn around. So it's not like it's hard to find good products anymore. People have dialed in their formulations, and now it's time to just get out there and just show people what CBD is and kind of make your Amway money, make your Herbalife money. Mm-hmm. I don't like multi-level marketing, but build your pyramid. Just do it right. That's what I say. CBD has the future. THC will kind of plateau, and doctors will start talking about it on the news.
Yeah.
And the stigma will go away.
Appreciate it, man. So, hey, Rick, how can people get a hold of you if they want to take advantage of your wisdom, your mind, your genius?
You can check me out I do a blog on my Delove group, delovegroup.com, and check me out on Facebook and my Instagram as Pickle Champs or Rick Delove.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Much love.
Much love, Josh. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Keep green.
All right, you too, man. Later.